interview series, and I'm your host, Harneet Kaur. And today we have our guest with us, Dotun, yeah, founder and CEO of 235 Services, and best-selling author of the book 18 Habits of Effective Global Brands. Yeah. So let's hear it from you, Rotten. If you could share more about you and your business.
All right. So thank you. My book, The 18 Habits of Highly Effective Global Brands, um, is a book that I wrote earlier this year and I published on Amazon. And it's basically book that I wanted to start this with in terms of it, it just a chronicle and a listing of what the largest businesses and the most uh, effective brands do to be successful in business.
Mm.
So I worked with a team of people over 3 years to do a research on what these brands do. And we identified a little bit of things they did, which basically show how and why they have been successful. One of them is they always use the most effective technologies in terms of what they do. The business that I run, 235 Services, is a business that I run out of the United Kingdom. And this business has been focused on technology. Like I
Mm.
said before we started, I'm not a technologist in the sense that I'm not a technical
Mm.
technology person. I'm not, someone who codes or writes, things. I'm more of a business management consultant within technology.
Mm.
What I've seen in the mid market and the large businesses that we have worked with is the fact that a lot of companies don't understand the intersection of technology and business. There are loads of technology that are exciting, but what is important to understand is it's all about people. If you don't focus on the people,
Mm.
you'll have a challenge of, focusing too much on the technology and forgetting
Mm.
about the people. And when I say
Mm.
people, it's either your internal stakeholders or your external stakeholders, because your
Mm.
staff members are your customers too, as well as your customers that you want to sell your
Yeah.
goods or services to. So I focus on helping businesses to understand the need to um, use technology in the right way and
Mm.
to also introduce technology with a very clear understanding of who needs it, how they need it. So
Mm.
if you want to introduce AI as an example,
Mm.
are you ready for AI? Is AI appropriate for your company?
Mm.
Because everybody's shouting ChatGPT or AI or generative
Mm.
AI or
Mm.
Mid Journey or Bard or whatever. You may be in a company that is not yet ready for AI. And until you put certain things in place for AI, you might be wasting your money.
Mm. So what's the starting point, for our viewers when they start, there would be small businesses, SMEs. Where do they start their journey? Because we've been hearing about AI, and definitely that's something to, to use and help us. But where do businesses start at?
So I think first and foremost, that's a very good question because it's going to help whoever listens to this, wherever, to understand that no matter the technology, whether it's AI, Bitcoin, blockchain, quantum computing, whatever it is, even if you deploying some, cybersecurity product, whatever the technology is, you need to start from the customer. You need to wear the customer's shoes. So if you're creating, so the easiest thing people talk about in business now is a bot, like a chat bot in technology. Most large companies have it. Some small companies have it. So if you're going to create a chatbot or an AI bot, whichever type of version of bot you're going to introduce, don't always think that because you put it there, you're going to excite your customers. If you already have a bad reputation, if your customers are not happy with you, by just putting a bot on your website doesn't mean that automatically you're going to have a good reputation. What you need to think about is, who are your customers? You need to understand your customers and start by user research, market research, engaging with customers and understanding, what they want. So 235 services, we start from what we call AI readiness assessment. So we want to see whether you are ready. So before, if you were asked to come and do a digital transformation, we will also do a digital transformation readiness assessment. So we always start with a readiness assessment survey and sort of discovery exercise to understand who are the people, the stakeholder mapping, who are your customers, what are your objectives? So why exactly do you want to buy technology? And if you want to buy technology, where exactly are you settling for AI as opposed to blockchain, or as opposed to just digital transformation? So once we understand all these questions, we also want to understand your processes. So are your processes aligned to help you to roll out AI? So once we understand this, it helps us to help you, the customer, to give the right suggestions and advice to you about how you will use AI. And my advice to whoever listening to this is, if you want to go into AI, you want to always find out that, are you ready for AI? Because AI is also technology, and there are certain things that's going to change once you start to use AI. So you need to understand that there are things that will be different from when you didn't have AI. So these are the things we'll share with a potential customer and explain to them what to get ready, how to think about AI, processes to think about, and how AI is going to change the processes and the customer experience of their customer. Ultimately, the experience should be positive, but if you don't do it correctly, it may not be positive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I 100% agree with you. I mean, AI is more like a tool, but you need to have that clarity of what you are doing, why are you doing, where are you, and then use the tool to help you do it better in a better way. I mean, otherwise, there's no point of using that tool. So, uh, very good. Well said on that one. If I reflect back,
Yeah.
if we look back at your business journey, from where, what inspired you to start 235 services?
So, so in terms of my journey, so I was already, in the UK and was thinking of what to do. I stumbled across product management because I used to be in business growth and business development. And what then happened was I was looking at a horizontal movement into technology, and I discovered product management and product development. And what worked well for me was that because I was already an entrepreneur, I had some businesses, I was consulting in business development and business growth. It was easy to move horizontally into product management. Then I needed to find a name, and I was thinking of different names. And 235, which is my birthday, 23rd of May, was easy to pull together because it will be unique to me. And I also wanted to be in an innovative industry because I'm somebody who enjoys innovation, and even my name is synonymous with innovation. So I felt that this is an area we enjoy. So I came into technology in digital transformation when there was a lot of digital transformation happening in early 2000s. So that's how for me I came into this. And for me, also you have to move with time. So we've been doing digital transformation, and from 2014, 90% of what we've done has been AI. So we focus more on AI currently because it's an evolving area, but it's
Hmm.
also, I think, an area where there's a lot of need for expertise. Because in 2016, I did a course with MIT on AI for business strategy, and that
Yeah.
also kind of gave me a bigger view of how from narrow AI there's going to be the next wave of AI, which is here now, which is the generative AI, and it
Hmm.
makes it easier for one man band or one woman band or anybody to harness AI. But most importantly, I came into the business of technology because I know is the business of the future. And if
Hmm.
you're in business, you always want to be in a business that's not going to expire. You want to be in a business that's always going to evolve. So that's how I got into technology, and I'm staying in technology.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think you've had enough discussions. There are two school of thoughts when it comes to AI. One would say, "Oh, this is the new wave. We need to adapt," whereas the other would have a different opinion all about it. But you're right, and this is what we also tell all our community and our clients that this is something which we would, you can choose to be an early adapters, or you will be forced to do it later because you will miss the bus. But the point is, the sooner you adapt to it, but consciously learning about it
Yeah,
and making the most of it, the better it is for the business growth. Because if there is something that can help you do quicker, why not do it? Yeah, quicker and easier. Wonderful.
absolutely.
So, what do you see currently as a business challenge, John, right now? When you speak to a lot of your clients, what do you see is the business challenge?
Well, I think we live in a post-COVID world where COVID is not mentioned again. But the reality is that the scars of COVID is still with us. It's still very fresh scar. And a lot of businesses I speak with are still recovering from COVID. I'll give you an example. So businesses that are within e-commerce or retail are still feeling the pinch because the supply chain from the Far East or from Southeast Asia are not producing to the full potential they were before COVID. Also, China. So if you think of, I have some clients within, you know, retail selling clothes, and normally they will bring things from Sri Lanka or Bangladesh. Um, Currently, things are not yet at the level in terms of what they've told us. But you also have the cost. So that has a knock on effect on pricing. So it's all about supply and demand, isn't it? So because of that, costing are not as buoyant as they used to be. So I have a potential client I was talking to. She has a store on Amazon, and she had a lot of stock that were moving very fast. And since COVID happened, she's had a lot of things slow down. And the challenge she's had is been basically having things not selling as much as possible because people don't have as much disposable income. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of need for companies and small companies and medium-sized companies, even the large companies, to cut costs, to reduce their overhead. So we have an example in the UK where a very largely known, widely known brand like Wilco just shut down their shops. They've been around for quite a a number of years. So I think for me that's been it. The post-COVID trauma of the supply chain hiccups as is still lingering and is not yet gone away. But also, I think also the effects of on a second part of what COVID has done to the job market. So when I talk to people in the healthcare industry, it's still there. So we've had NHS as our client in the past, and now we know that NHS has a record number of vacancies. So COVID has been a big impact, which has had a knock-on effect on pricing and affordability and disposable income. So this is also where smart technology like AI comes in because people can, companies and businesses can use it to sort of augment what they do and, you know, achieve efficiencies in terms of their operational processes.
Mm. Yeah, quite interesting actually. AI to use to increase the operational efficiencies. Absolutely. Yeah. Uh, I'm coming back to you now. Uh, how do you manage? How do you manage your work-life balance with so many things going on?
So I think having a very good work-life balance is very important, and I think you need to have a routine, you need to have a process. So I mentioned something earlier that you need to be customer centric. So your family are your customers as well if you're a business person. Because if we think about it, every human being is selling something. So we may not like it when it's framed that way, but the reality is if you have children, you need to sell an idea of how to live to them. So if you want them to be very good, you need to sell the reason why they should be good, right? There is an outcome. So if you are good as a child, in the future, you have this type of life, right?
Mm,
If you are someone who's looking for a life partner, you need to sell a dream of what you can give to them for them to come to live with you, right?
mm, mm,
So when you have a family or you have a wider family, you need
mm,
to sell to them why they need to support you as an entrepreneur.
mm.
So those who struggle are those who think selling is almost like a bad word. If you, I don't know if you read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert
Mm.
Kiyosaki,
Yeah,
and
yeah, you see.
in that, fantastic, fantastic. So I read that book when very long years ago, and one of the things that stuck at me there is that most people who struggle in business struggle because they don't grasp the skill of sales and selling. So to have a work-life balance, you need to have a routine which your family has bought what you've sold to them, and you need to practice what you preach. So potentially you could say, or as an example, you could say, okay, um, every day we need to wake up at 5:30 a.m. so that the children have gone to school at X time, and then
Mm,
you have Y period of time to settle down, to review your day before you start.
mm,
Or we wake up at 5. So if you are someone who has a faith, whatever the faith is, we wake up at 5 a.m. and we do our prayers at X time. And then you do your house chores at Y time. And then you can go out. Why do you want to do that? You explain to them, that the children, that it will give you the discipline to
yeah.
be able to wake up in life early when you're older and all that. And then you explain to them when they come back from school, they need to be doing their own thing because you still need to be on calls or you need to do things or whatever. Or if you work away from home, you need to sell to them the discipline of, yes, unwinding, then going to do their homework, not spending time on games or computer games or just on their phone texting. If you are successful in being a good salesperson, you find out that having a work-life balance easily
Mm,
is easier than you can imagine. Because what will
mm,
happen is you will be able to achieve your goals and dreams because they've bought into your goals and dreams. And I also use something called um, the clear, concise mental picture, where basically I show them the picture of holidays or what we're going to do,
mm,
that when I'm busy, they know that I'm working towards that. So it's our family holiday. So all the things I'll be doing away from home or when I'm in my study at home, it's so that in August or December, we're going on holiday to Dubai or Hawaii
mm, mm,
or Cancun or Cape Verde or Marrakesh or wherever, or Goa, wherever it is. So having a good work-life balance, it's about selling the dream and what you are chasing to become our thing as opposed to my thing. And that is how I've been able to achieve my work-life balance. Because even I have a very young child who's 6, she knows that when daddy is not out of the, no, when daddy is not at home, in the office, I cannot go to daddy. Why? Because daddy is busy. Normally, 6-year-old will come and be pestering you. So she knows that she needs to pass the notes under the door, that when I finish my call, I can look at the note. Why? Because I sold her the dream. If daddy doesn't do that call, if daddy doesn't close that deal, we won't be able to go to Disneyland. And she wants to go to Disneyland. Yeah.
Like
So
that.
achieving your work-life balance, I think number one, your stakeholders, quote unquote, at home need to buy into your dream. You also need to have processes that you follow, discipline, like, okay, I need to eat at this time, I need to drink at this time. So I'm talking to you here on a table I bought from one of the stores. I'm not going to give free adverts. That table goes up and down. So at the point, I raised it up. I got it during COVID because we were working from home and I was just stuck in my chair. So when I finish one call, the next hour, the next call, I'm standing up. So it's having all those
Yeah.
health disciplines, selling the dream to your family, and knowing when to stop. Because
Mm.
when you run your own business, you can work yourself to death. You need to know when to stop, when to start, and when to continue. But the most important thing is you need to carry your internal stakeholders, which is your family. You need to carry them
I
along.
I love that, when you say the family is your stakeholders, that's a very good perspective of looking at it. And it's all about positioning, and you're doing it very well. So here you are balancing the work and life balance. Yeah. Uh what's the vision for 235 services? 5 year down
So,
the line, where do you want to be?
so the vision for 235 Services basically is to be a leader in evolving technology consultancy in the Middle East, Africa, and Europe in the next 5 years. And how we're doing this is through strategic partnership to open doors into markets that we target.
Lovely. Before we finish, two things I want to ask. One is, what advice would you give? Okay, let's say if you plan to start this business from the scratch, what would you do differently this time?
Well, if I was starting the business from the scratch, I think one of the things I will start with is I will start with a board of advisors, and that will have made my journey quicker, because when you have a board of advisors, they help you with different things. Tiger Woods had 7 coaches. And I always think I should have done the same when I started, because we're both of the same age. So for me, I would say that if I was starting again, I would start with a board of advisors, maybe 5. I think 7 is a bit too much for me, but 5 advisors, and ensuring that they're able to help you in different ways. And I will give the same advice to whoever is looking to start business today. Don't think that you need to get mega stars. You only need people with very good global or national or regional experience in areas you're looking, like you have weaknesses in, to support you and guide you in those areas. So I'm a creative person. I'm an entrepreneur. So I have an advisor in matters relating to finance. I have an advisor in matters relating to legal. I have advisors in matters relating to different things. And this is what I didn't do at the beginning, but now I do. But if I was starting again, I will definitely do that. And I will advise those just starting to do the same.
Lovely. That's a fabulous advice, because as coaches, we all have coaches, and sometimes it can be, yeah, I mean, people need to hold us accountable as well. So I am a coach, but I also have a coach who holds me accountable for my own goals and where I want to be. So yeah, Tiger Woods, definitely he might be the best post person, but he also needs a coach, and so do all of us. So
Absolutely.
that's a good one. Last, Don, what is there anything you want to share with our viewers, to help them in terms of the AI, or any new event offers you're running up?
Okay, so I think something I would like to plug is that I started a journey with a and a professional colleague who we started something called AI in Nigeria, which is an organization looking to bring the ecosystem together to talk about the ethical and responsible use of AI and adapting it to solve the problem in Nigeria and ultimately Africa. We're going to pull together, so well, the event is already there. So if you go into aiinnigeria.com, you'll see the event. Basically, end of February 2024, we're bringing together the largest AI event that's going to happen in Africa, in fact. And so if anyone is looking to enter into the AI space or technology space in Nigeria, let them reach out. There's an opportunity for partnership, and the exciting things happening in AI. It's an ever evolving industry. And I want to tell people AI is not going to replace you. Someone using AI will.
Absolutely. Well said. Thank you for that. It would be great if you could share, the website or something, so for our viewers, and we'll put that in.
Okay, so I will share that with you privately, but it's aiinnigeria.com, but I'll share the event page with you.
Yeah, wonderful. So once again, thank you for joining us today. It was a pleasure speaking with you and knowing more about AI. And yes, AI is there for everyone. Let's use it. Let's maximize it. Let's grow our businesses. It's to help us grow. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.